Hi, everyone. This is William from Montreal. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today in this Go Live. I appreciate you. We're having a guest today, a special guest. I'm so excited to hear what she has to say. But before that, I'd like to say that I am a business owner and also a mentor. What I do is that I help people who are looking to start up a business online. Are you looking to save up for retirement, or probably you're looking to pay off mortgage or whatever, or maybe you're just trying to have more time for friends and family. I would like to say this business offers all that because as a business owner, everything is online. All you just need to do is you enter in your name and email address, and you start your journey of becoming your own boss. So today we're having a guest. She became her own boss this year. We're going to hear from her. But before we hear from her, fly with me to. Yes, we are here in Ontario to Tehmina. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Will. That is so cute. I haven't seen anybody do that before. So you just got off a flight from Montreal. That's interesting.
Yes. I try to make my guests feel special.
No, that is really, really neat. I really like that. Thank you so much for inviting me on your page. I'm very happy to be here.
You're
I'm looking
welcome.
forward to it. Yes, thank you so much.
Great, great, great. Can you just introduce yourself to our audience so they know who they are listening to?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Tehmina, and I'm actually originally from Mumbai in India. I've been in Canada since 2002, so 19 years now. When I moved here, my kids were really young. I have two boys. They're in their 20s now. They both graduated. My younger one just graduated from a college program with an engineering diploma. So
Nice.
yeah, and so hopefully they're starting the journey of their lives. And yeah, and I have actually myself, being an immigrant. We were talking earlier, like we take on whatever jobs we can get.
Yeah.
I did start in, as a telemarketer, did customer service jobs, and then after that went to school full time in 2010 to do an HR management course. And after that, I started working in one of the top 5 banks in Canada since 2012. So my most recent professional experience was with the banking industry, and I'm actually a job quitter as of January this year. So I'm doing the
Nice.
digital business full time now.
Great, great. But this is just a side question. How was the step? I mean, you're working in a bank. How
Hmm.
was the step being working from a bank now becoming a business owner? How is that?
So the thing is, I have always, I think I have that in my genes. My whole family, my dad's side, we're mostly actually even, basically my family is all into business. So I think I have it somewhere in my bloodline to do business. I've tried my
Okay.
hands at pretty much everything that's out there, network marketing. I've sold insurance. I've done a lot of different things. I'm also a travel agent by profession. I've done that back home in India. And then in
Okay.
2019, I also got a travel agent, an Ontario license, so I could practice in Canada as well. So that was what's going to be my ticket out of my job. Because see, what happens is, it was never my goal to actually work in the bank. For me, it was more like making an income, and it just fell in. It just fell on my lap, the job. After I did my HR management course, I knew somebody in TD, and I just got offered the position, and I started working there. But ultimately, when you're at a job, you're a number on a paycheck at the end of the month,
Yeah.
and on top of that, your hours are not your own. So you are accountable. You're held accountable, right? When you start your morning, what time you end, things like that. And for me, the other thing also was that I did not get paid if I didn't work. So I was on an hourly kind of basis. So if I had to
Yeah.
take time off, either for vacation or even if I was not well, I wouldn't get paid. And that gets really tough, like even if you want to
Yeah.
go, like I'm from India, I barely went back, maybe 3 times or 4 times in the last 19 years. So those were things that really bother you after some time.
Yeah.
And so in 2019, I started looking for options which would allow me to do something specifically from home, but I didn't want to do selling. I didn't want to, do that network marketing kind of thing, approaching friends and family. So I did go back to my old thing of becoming a travel agent. did really well in 2019, but 2020 hit, and the first thing that went out of the window was travel.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's true.
you know, one of the main reasons I wanted to work from home, also, I should say, is because I have elderly parents. I have my mother-in-law who lives with us full time. She's been with us for more than 10 years now. And my dad is also living with me now. So, when your kids are younger, you want to stay at home for them. And then when you
Yeah,
have elderly parents, usually, sometimes you do choose to kind of, you know, give them the time, right? Because they need you to be around. So
that's true.
that was my reason for wanting to work from home. And March 2020, I realized, oh God, now this travel agency thing is not going to work. Fortunately, I did have my job, but then I had to rethink my whole plan. And I realized the only thing that was really booming was the online space. And
Yeah,
I had been curious about things like Amazon and selling on Amazon and things for a while. So when this happened, I started looking into it more seriously. I spent a couple of months doing that, and once you click on one ad about Amazon ship, selling on Amazon, there'll be like 100 ads. A lot of
yeah,
people say the same thing about our digital business, right? Like you get hit by the same thing. But it was so overwhelming because they all offered you the training. Oh, great. You can make so much money selling on Amazon. But then there was nothing after that. Like you would have to source out your own products. You would have to figure out everything else. You would have to figure out
yeah,
the inventory, returns, customer complaints. There was a lot to deal with. And I was really not looking for something like that because I was working full time at the bank. I wanted something that I could start part time and then as a plan B or a side hustle, and then that could become my full time thing at the end of the day. So I pretty much gave up on those plans because none of them offered what I was looking for. And June of 2020, I got introduced to this business through one of the groups that I was on Facebook. And when I got introduced to it, I watched the free webinar that we have, and I had a lot of questions. I reached out to my mentor. I got those answered, and the best part, because I had already done the research prior to see what other options were out there, I realized that this was the best thing for me because of everything that was there. It was a complete plug and play system, right? So
yeah,
that's what I really liked. It had all the tools, it had the training, your website was done for you. We had the automated email campaign. There were so many things that were there that were not included in the other things that I had looked at. And that's the main reason I jumped into this actually.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much how I happened to become a digital business owner.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you answered my first question and the second
I
question.
know that. I realized that partway through. I'm like, oh, I think he's going to ask me something because you have sent me that. Yeah, yeah. No, and another
Well,
reason I wanted to mention is that one of the reasons I also went for this versus anything else that I had seen in the past was the fact that this one had mentorship. Because I'm one of those people, if I get stuck, I like to have somebody that I can ask questions to. And that's the reason I decided to choose this business versus anything else that I'd come across, because the other things really overwhelmed me. They were not as streamlined. There was so much more time and effort that I would have to put in to get started.
that's
That
true.
when I came across this, I realized this is like completely done for you system. Like 90% of it was already done for you. All
Yeah,
I had to do was follow the steps. Somebody had already walked the path for me. My mentor was there. She had gone through the whole process. So somebody was there to guide you, right? Step by
yeah,
step, hold your hand through the whole thing. And along with that, we have this amazing community that you become a part of from all across the world. They all bring their own, different specialities, and they're all able to
yeah.
help you in some way or the other. So that was a no-brainer for me, and that's why I just jumped in with both feet.
Yeah, I did the same thing too because, you know, from my previous go lives, I've always said this. I've tried other businesses online.
Hmm.
Talk about MLM, even Amazon. I tried doing it,
Oh,
but
you did, eh?
yeah, I tried it, but even drop shipping as well.
Yeah,
But all that didn't work because,
yeah,
if you know anything about drop shipping, for those who
yeah,
are watching, you have to get the product yourself, you have to
yeah,
ship it. And if, just like the guest said, if there's a problem, you have to deal with it,
yeah.
and even returns and all that. Too much hassle to do
Yeah.
all that, just for
There's a
what?
very small percentage that actually becomes successful, but even after throwing a lot more money into it, I'm sure, a lot of
Yeah,
trial and error to get that one good product that really works, or you
yeah,
end up becoming one of those drop shippers that sell multitude of like little small ticket items and then make the money, right? So there's a
yeah,
lot more stress to deal with than anything else. Yeah.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Cool. Third question is any qualification becoming a digital online business?
Yes, definitely. You need to be motivated. That's all. We only
Yes.
need yeah, we need people that are motivated. They are willing to learn. That's
Yeah.
all you need to do. No other qualification is needed. There's no degree or anything like that, or you need to have some kind of online training or anything. Nothing. Everything is taught to you. When I
Yeah.
started, I only had a Facebook business page. Pretty much, that's it. I didn't have an Instagram account. Didn't know much about social media per se. So it was, and for somebody like me, it was so easy to kind of get started because of the training. What I
Yeah.
love about it is that it's all video-based training, so it's easy to follow. I'm not a text learner. I'm more like a visual learner, so it was very very easy for me to get going and get started. And yeah, I always tell everyone, you just need to bring your motivation and your will to learn, and
Yeah.
you'll be a success in this business. That's pretty much it. That's all you need.
That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
Being passionate about your why
Yeah.
you're doing this business, it's
Yeah.
going to take you a long way. It's going to take you a long way.
That's what's going to propel you further. That's what's going to make you actually get successful. And I guess it's in anything in life, right? In anything
Yeah.
in life, you need to have the right motivation and why you're doing it, and that's
Yeah.
what's going to make push you forward for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. Great. Fourth question is, what would you advise someone who is trying to join this online business?
Do it now. That's what I would say. What are you waiting for? Because everything is moving online, and I
Yeah.
always say that people that have joined the business now, they were introduced to it maybe even 2 years ago, and they would be like, oh my god, I wish I had joined 2 years ago. you know
We all say
and
that. We all say
yeah,
that.
and you don't want to be one of those people like 2 years down the line saying, oh my god, I was introduced to something like this by Will. I think that's the guy's name, and I wish I had jumped on it instead of waiting these 2 years. Because life is too precious, and life is going
Yeah,
on too fast, and
that's true.
everything is moving online. If we don't see the writing on the wall soon and get on board with it, we're going to be left behind.
That's true.
It's important that when you come across something like this, a platform like this that is willing to teach you right from scratch and support you and see you all the way through to your success, you know you have to grab it with both hands. And a lot of people are curious about what is online business and things like that, and there's so many different things that you can do online. There definitely are. But what I like about this thing is that not only is it's online, but the way the training is set up, the way the tools are, whatever we have access to it. Like I mentioned earlier, we make the website for them. Also, you get an automated email campaign that is people get emails from you.
Yeah.
You get the training that is on 6 different platforms. All of those things packaged into one system like this, that you join and you're just a part of it. There's nothing like that out there. And
Yes.
so yeah, so if you've come across this opportunity, there is a reason why you've come across this, and you need to get on it and stop holding yourself back, basically.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Well said. Final question. What country is next on your bucket list to go on vacation?
Vacation, definitely Turkey. I'm just waiting to go. I don't know when. Hopefully soon. Things have to open up though. So yeah,
Yeah.
Turkey. It's always been on my bucket list. I definitely want to go there for a vacation, and I'm waiting to go. I already know where I want to go and visit as well. What about you? Which is your country on your bucket list? Like
Well,
which
my
country do you?
country is Hawaii. Well, United States, but Hawaii, the island of Hawaii.
Is
That's where
it?
I would like to go. Yeah, I've always wanted to go there. I said by
Wow.
the time things gets better,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. You
that's
know who
where.
to contact if you want to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely you.
I was looking because I did have few clients that were interested in going there, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm not much of a beach person, so yeah, that's why Turkey's on my bucket list for sure.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. But is there a reason why you're going to Turkey?
There's a lot of cultural things out there. The funny thing is, I have been to Turkey before, but I
Okay.
haven't seen all of the place because my husband used to be on merchant ships, so I've sailed with him. I've sailed a lot of places, but
Yeah.
we were in one of the outskirt towns, like more like port towns. So I didn't really get to see the actual, country
Yeah.
as such. and it's so beautiful. It's on the Mediterranean, because
Yeah,
I've been to Greece and I've been to other places. Turkey is something that I haven't been to and seen properly, so that's why. Yeah,
yeah. Actually, I've watched some of their movies on Netflix. They are really, really. The country is really good. It's really beautiful.
yeah, it's really
Yeah,
beautiful. That's what I've
yeah.
I've heard too, and yeah, hopefully God will make it happen. It's on my, it's there. It's on my vision board, so hopefully it'll happen.
Nice, nice, nice. Awesome, awesome. Perfectly said. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Just before I let you go, do you have any final words for our audience?
The only thing I would like to say is that, we have these interviews so that we can introduce the different kinds of people that are doing the business. You and I both come from completely different backgrounds, different countries, but this business
Yeah,
has kind of got us together. And, you can't put a price on things like having, your freedom of your own time, control of how you want to lead your life. It's a
yes,
priceless thing. You could be a vice president of a company making a lot of money, but the amount of stress that brings versus
yeah,
something like this where a system is just running. I'm able to live my life at my own terms right now. I don't need to worry about things, and I'm still getting paid for it. And you don't find things like that, along with the
yeah,
fact that you make friendships. You meet so many amazing people all around the world. So it's such a good platform. Like, people really need to look into it. Maybe it's not for everyone, but there's
yeah,
no harm in checking it out, and I think everyone should at least check it out, watch the webinar, and you look into it, and
yeah.
see if this is something that you might want to do. Who knows? That's all I want
Definitely,
to share.
definitely. With that, thank you so much, Tehmina. I really appreciate your time being here with me, and it's a pleasure knowing you in this community. And you're an inspiration to so many.
I hope
And
so.
yes, you are. Yes, you are. I can see that, and
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate all that you do. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, and hopefully, we're going to talk about your business again, maybe 6 months, a year from now.
Hopefully, yes, for sure. I would love to do that. Thank you so much, and I wish you
Great.
all the very best. Lots of success, and for the future. And you have a lovely evening. Thanks for inviting me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take
You're very
care.
welcome.
Bye for
Bye
now.
bye.
Yes, guys, that's my lovely guest for today. I mean, you can see this business is something which anyone can, people should look into it because it's changing lives. It's changing lives, really. Because if she came from the banking industry and now she's doing this business full time, that's something that tells you this business worth checking out. All you just need to do, you enter in your name and email address on the link which I'm going to put here in this post, and you watch the free webinar just like she said, and you make a decision for yourself if this is for you or not. You know, so many people's life are being transformed in our community, and every single day, people's lives are being transformed. My life has been transformed. Hers has been transformed, as we can all, feel it from the energy in her voice, and the enthusiasm. So join us and be part of something that is great. And tomorrow we're going to be having another guest, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you everyone for watching, and for those I'll be watching the replay, I really appreciate your time for taking that time to watch the replay. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. William signing out. Bye for now.